Hello everyone, we're here to cover Kona's 100th ride by Dolgovas, and apart from just general overview, you'll also figure out 3 things: is whether it's a good place to start if you're a newcomer, also what was completely different this year apart from previous years, and last but not least, we will get our eyes on Dolgovas' new bike, which probably is going to be exceptional, isn't it? So if that's something you are interested about, have a look at what I have to offer for you in these upcoming 20 minutes or so.
Paprašyti pakelkit rankas, kas važiuoja šiam kilometrui, kad suprasite.
So we met here in the city center of Kaunas at Darius Girėnas statue, with Andrej's wife prepared 66 kilometers course, and Andrejus made 100 kilometers course for us. And we're off to the start already. Thankfully, I figure out that my camera is showing the wrong direction, and we flying to the first kilometers. As usual, when you have to leave out the city or just go through the streets, it's a bit tricky, especially in the huge group, because gaps can open up, but it was not that much of a headache because it was 10 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, so it's not a lot of traffic out there, and we are running here on San Francisco downhill. The reason why it's San Francisco probably is because you can see a lot of scenery going down it, and because it's steep, it somehow reflects San Francisco in general. I haven't been in San Francisco, I have no idea how it looks like. Here I figure out that it would be a good idea to slow down and showcase how much people joined this group, and actually somewhat around 40 or so rode 100 kilometers, at least started 100 kilometers distance, and you can see we were quite a lot of those. Thankfully, there was not a lot of areas in the city where we had to cross the streets. That means we can lay our gear in the wind and continue going in those single tracks around Lampėdis Lake. As usual, you can see some segments information, even though we're not racing here and we didn't push at all in most cases. I tend to include those in the videos because I believe that it serves multiple purposes, as well as just showcases. Apart from just showing the segment and its title, you can just search that location if you like it. Also, you can check how fast hour goes, so that's beneficial. And you can see that we in the first very steep uphill, and yeah, most of us had to go off the bike because it was really steep one, and yeah. Andrei said here that I punished everyone by this uphill, and the reason he said that is because we kind of joined our forces together and prepared track for this ride, where I included some parts from my perspective, while Andreas added a few other sections on his own. And if there's a chance you're going in Raudondvario street, you definitely know that it's tedious to go there because there are a lot of traffic, and the side paths are really narrow, so whenever it's possible, it's a good idea to skip that over some other areas to ride. And the same applies once you go from Raudondvario street towards Šilelis. You can go just straight on the tarmac or go to the left and then explore, even though it's just a gravel road, still not that boring as just going on plain road. So also, if you at any time going towards that place, make sure to check if you are on mountain bike. Make sure to check this single track. It has quite steep uphill. I'm not promoting this just because I have a crown on this segment. It's just a nice way to skip that boring part and include something more cheerful in your ride. And once you go up and go in the single track, then you have ability to go down in order to appear at the same road again. So that just additional loop addition in your course, which makes your day lighter. In some cases it was challenging for Andreas to go at the front because I added some sections here and there, and when you are not aware what's upcoming, then you might make some wrong turns, and this was one of those where we ended up in a very unrolling meadow, but it was not too long, thankfully, and we managed to find the place. But you can have a look how it looked like from the end of that meadow. And the same applies here if you are coming towards Colatva, and here on the left is Šilelis. You can go towards the forest on the left and make some loops here. It has some very nice single tracks in those beautiful locations, so that's just yet another reason to go towards Colatva and explore something on the left towards that. There's misconception where this Kona's 100 is being compared with actual Kona's 100, where it's kind of a pathway around the city, just like Vilnius 100 trail is. So no, this is completely different thing. And even though it's completely different thing and we kind of went to a district and not only in the Kona city, how much you can ride in the Konas again. Just explore what's around and you will be surprised what possibilities are there. So yeah, I already spoiled a bit that we are going towards Colatva, and Colatva is kind of a lot of about uphills, so that was one of those which once you go up you go down, and actually I pushed quite a lot here, and sorry about that, but it was kind of an introduction what awaits for everybody. Once we hit those forests, a few probably dropped out just because we were on gravel bikes, and yeah, it was not that good rolling on the gravels. And the funny thing is that there were two distances, 100 kilometers and 66, but still quite a lot of chosen 100 kilometers distance, even though it might have been a bit too hard, but that was their choice. And in the beginning, Andreas kind of introduced that most likely there will be different speed within the group. So if we break into different groups and chatter and would not be able to continue together, then we just have to find our pace in the group and continue from there. Here we can see how beautifully Mantas Girtienas went over this tree. I haven't tried it myself, but you can see that our guy was not able to do it so easily. So yeah, that's not that easy. And the reason why we came to Colatva is because I live here for a while, as well as I ride around that area a lot. And because this event is held in the end of a season, and it's probably 5th time officially inviting people to join, whether on Facebook or whatever. This is my first time participating in this, but in general it's already 5th time when people are being invited. So you can imagine that it's kind of difficult to create a course in the city and make it somewhat unique and exceptional every year. So in order not to go on the same places again and again, and they just asked me to include some sections from Colatva where people could also come and ride, and I happily did it. Colatva indeed has something to offer, while it can't match specifically what is in Kačerginė, for example. In some cases, like long uphills, it can even surpass Kačerginė. So if you are considering whether to go to Kačerginė or Colatva, think twice before choosing Kačerginė, because Colatva has something as well. And you could have seen here how we went into the forest and rode from some sort of teleport, shall we say. I'm not sure what people do in these forests, but I wouldn't love to go there in the nighttime. Who knows what they are. Of course we are not doing something bad, right? So there were a lot of things happening, but you can see that from time to time when we go through more complex section, we stopped by to just wait for someone who were struggling a bit more, but thing is the group separated into two pieces, and we were kind of running separately one from another, and our group was riding a bit faster, and others, which included some gravel bikes as well, and few women, were running a bit slower. You can see that this segment I have another crown here, but currently the conditions were amazing because the gravel road here was like tarmac, very stiff and well rolling. Try to do this in the summer and let me know whether it was that great rolling when it's dry. If you go into towards Jaučiai, basically it was our forwards destination of the track course. You will have ability to go on very epic downhill trail. I call it epic because the scenery here, even though currently it's autumn and it's kind of bold here, in the summer it looks amazing, and even though it's a bit more slippery there during the summer, there are a lot of vegetation around. It's still amazing place. I'm not sure how this place was not discovered earlier, so even though there were a few people ridden in this destination, there were very few of them. Whenever you're going towards Vilkija, you should definitely check this out. It's a lot easier to approach this from the top, so basically if you're going towards Vilkija, make sure to be on the top right instead of this area of the course, because it's a lot easier to go down than to go up. But in general, it was kind of our spicy trail of the day. And here was a very interesting situation where the gentleman on the bike called us, basically he just cheered us by saying hello idiot. Yeah, we haven't done anything to him because most likely life something did to him already, but we had guesses that maybe he started to ride with us together and then just drop off and was angry, who knows, but it was something interesting, shall we say. We decided to stop at the shop, and guys took some snacks while we explored how Andrejus Spark SL model looks like, and it's actually amazing. So that's a nice addition to the bike park of Andrejus. Because I'm from kind of Colatva, I'm not natively from Colatva, but by now I know already a lot of shortcuts, and that was one of those. And you can see that there was lying the bike on the ground, which thankfully was not from our group, so someone left that bike, and hopefully they didn't just die somewhere there. Hopefully. So yeah, when you are running at the front of a group, you kind of have to guide directions for the remaining guys in the back. And whenever it's tricky, I always try to kind of notify that that area is tricky. And one of those was that bridge, which is very slippery when wet, and and it was wet. So yeah, thankfully no one fall, hopefully, right? Right. And this is one of those areas where I kind of find out the way to cut the corner in order to appear at other side of the forest, because in the past you had to go straight through the main road, and it's kind of a few kilometers here and there going on the main road, which I kind of didn't love that much, so I found a shortcut. And it's actually a nice one. It has some steep sections, a bit of handling and cornering and around the trees, so yeah, that was nice thing. This is very technical feature where you kind of could try to go over that stream, but you can see that even though Mantas Gritėnas kind of almost did it, Kasparui Žyraičiui it wasn't that easy to accomplish. Here Andrejus with Matas went very fast, and it was very slippery. Valerijus almost felt, and yeah, if you're going first time in a non-single track, it would be great to be aware of. And you can see here Kasparas almost went over the barge because that was limber on the ground. A lot of things are happening, and I even don't manage to comment everything out. But yeah, we went out of Colatva already. This is very beautiful area where paragliders come to just glide the air. So we stopped by here because it's nice panoramic view, and we made some pictures. Well, because it was with timer, you can't actually very well see the beauty of the shot, but I believe that when I will be running towards the guys, you will see that it's really amazing panorama.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pieva matos gerai, žinok. Jo. Opa!
So yeah, while we've been making photo, our group, which was left behind, apparently went towards the same place because we were following the course, and they joined for the picture. Unfortunately, one guy on the right here was not fitting into the shot, so why not repeat the same thing again? So that's how group pictures are being taken. You just set up the timer, you just take water bottle, put it on the ground, lay down the phone, set the timer to 10 seconds, and make sure to run fast enough to be on time. By the way, here on the right was very interesting gravel bike, which I haven't seen in the past, which has suspension on the front fork, so that's a nice thing. I kind of tried to take the crown from Valerijus on this segment. I tried a few times already, none of them worked. So yeah, Valerijus was flying at some point here. But you can see that this time, when Andrejus was in front, I tried to catch him, and it made this to be 70 kilometers per hour downhill. So I would say that's impressive speed-wise, but Valerijus is still on the top of the list. What should we do about it? But yeah, it's raining currently, and I don't think that I would try the same thing on the rainy day at the same speed at power output. Around the river of Nevėžis there is a fun route a very nice track which we rode after that downhill, and it leads to the uphill for Onboards castle, and it leads to the downhill. So I'm not going to say that phrase anymore this time. So we found again the same group which apparently cut the corner, and they didn't went on that uphill which we did, but it appeared to be that while we been at the shop like 60 kilometers or 70 or so in the course, they didn't have that chance because they didn't knew where the shop was, and they went to the shop 12-15 kilometers remaining to the end. So hopefully they had enough snacks, because we already went to the shop before. We just skipped that by and rode this very nice, I wouldn't say it's a pump track because it's too big, right? It's jump line. Yeah, it's jump line, probably. And we are coasting in the Lampeji, which has also very nice single tracks, technical ones. Here you can see that I'm hardly keeping up the tempo of the guys, but it's okay because it's not the race, right? 160 BPM and still counting. So we started losing few guys here and there because we went back home. We continue our riding around Kona's castle, which in this type of lightning was just amazing. And thing is, whenever Andreas goes from the pathway, it doesn't mean anything good. And you can see that it was a steep one, but not the steep one as this one, where some just didn't believe where Andreas disappeared. Some tried to follow from the back, others just went over the loop through that church and skipped that part. Again, here one other guy went back home, and we are continuing towards the last bits of our ride. So some went over the stairs, some didn't. And remember I said that whenever Andreas goes out of the path, it doesn't mean anything good. Well, it's exactly the same situation where, yeah, it was nice. Definitely it was nice to ride those areas. So those who went back home earlier kind of missed something, but maybe they were already there. So that's how Kona's 100 has been. And we just made few last jumps here, and what happens in Fortas stays in Fortas. So thanks for the time, and I hope to see you around.